For today's project, we're going to make a simple paracord bracelet using a Cobra knot. It's going to look something like this when we're finished. The only difference is that we'll actually cut off these ends here and make it a permanent bracelet to show you the complete project. Let me show you the equipment we're going to use. We're going to use some paracord. This is a 9-foot piece of paracord. I actually got it from this Paracord bracelet kit here, which has enough in it to make 6 bracelets. If you're just experimenting with paracord projects, getting a kit like this is a good way to go. You can find these kits at Walmart or on Amazon, or I have a link below in my description that can give you a place to get all sorts of paracord supplies. But this is great if you're just starting out. Going to need a pair of scissors. I'm going to need a source of fire, which in this case is a very big lighter used to light candles. It's what my wife uses, so that's what we'll use for the project. And in my case, I'm going to use something called an easy jig. This is just a way to keep the bracelet still while I'm working on it. A lot of people work on it just by hand, and I find that this just makes it a little easier for me. You certainly don't need it, but it does help. The first thing you need to do is figure out if you're using something longer than a already pre-cut piece of paracord. You want to figure out how much paracord you're going to need for your project. And the calculation is roughly 1 foot per inch of bracelet you're going to make. So the first thing you want to do is measure the size of your wrist. I have a handy cloth tape measure here. My wrist comes in at 7.5 inches. I just rounded up to 8 inches, so it's not too tight. If you don't have one of these, but you just have a regular ruler, what you can do is just take your piece of paracord, wrap it around your wrist, and then measure it against a straight ruler to see where you're at. That'll give you the same measurement. Then your clip here is also going to be about 1 inch, so you're going to subtract 1 inch or so from whatever you get. So in my case, I wanted an 8-inch bracelet, so I'm going to use 7 inches of paracord roughly, wrist diameter wise. I'm going to multiply that by 1 foot, so I'm going to use approximately 7 feet of paracord. That means on this 9-foot piece of paracord here from the kit, I'm going to have about 2 feet left over, 1 foot on each end. And that's okay. But if you're working with a spool of like 100 feet or 1,000 feet, and you're going to make several bracelets, you want to know the measurements pretty good so you're not wasting a whole lot of paracord per project. Now when you're using the easy jig, you set the measurements here. You just have a nice little screw here, and you can adjust this to whatever size wrist you're working on. So I said I'm going to do an 8-inch one, so I'm setting it here and I'm tightening it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is set up my clasps. I'm going to put one here, and I put one at the other end here. Just like that. Now I'm going to feed my paracord through. Let me get the knots out here. Basically, I'm going to take both ends, and I'm going to take this piece here and just slide them through like this from the top to the bottom. You can also do bottom to the top. It doesn't really affect the style when you're complete. And just sort of pull this through and get it so it's like this. Pull it nice and tight. Now I'm going to turn this around and we're going to work on the other end. And we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to pull from top to bottom, from bottom to top rather. Now you have 2 holes here on this one. If you go from this hole here, you're going to have this hole showing. So I usually go from the hole closest to the solid plastic. And just shove those 2 pieces through. Come on. There's one. Second piece can be stubborn. There we go. And I'm going to pull this all the way through. Okay, and sometimes when you pull it through, the cords twist, so you might have to twist them back just to get everything nice and even over here. Okay, now what we're going to do is tie the initial knot, and then we're going to start doing the actual Cobra bracelet. So Cobra is pretty simple. You start with your left one, your left string here, put it underneath. You can see here, we're going under the bar that we created with the 2, pulling it all the way through. We take the one on the right, we're going to go over the one on the left here. Then we're going to go under it, and we're going to pull it through this hole here, just like this. So what we have here, when we're pulling it tight, is a knot. And we're just going to pull that nice and tight to get everything ready. Okay, sorry for the interruption, my dog wanted some attention. Now let's continue. We're going to go on the right side, we're going to make our loop here, going underneath the string again, and we're going to take our left piece here, we're going to go underneath, and we're going to go over the center piece here, make our knot, and pull it tight. Now we're going to take our left piece, and we're going to go underneath again, and our right piece under, over, through the hole, and pull it tight. Now we're going to take our right piece, we're going to go under, over, through the hole, and pull it tight. Now we're going to go left, under here, through the hole, pull it tight. Then we're going to go right, underneath, left, under, over, through the hole, and pull it tight. Now sometimes you might end up having to walk away from the project for a while, and you're going to wonder, did I do a left one or did I do a right one last? The easy way to tell is you look at the string that's through the underneath loop here. So this has a loop here over the top, and this has a loop underneath. So the one that has a loop underneath is the one you want to go with, which in this case is the left side. So again, we'll just continue left, go under with the right, over the middle section, pull it tight. And again, you see now we have the over here on the left side and the under here on the right. If I turn it around, of course, it would be on the over side. So we know we need to go on the right. So underneath, over, pull it through. And now we're just going to keep doing this until we get it completed. Under, over, pull it through. It's very simple pattern. You're just basically working the left side, then you're working the right side. Same exact motions. And just keep on working it. And it only takes a few minutes to get it done. It's a pretty simple weave. Let's say you made a mistake here. I need to do the left side again, but let's say you made a mistake and you did the right side. And you go, gee, that doesn't look right. It's very simple to fix. You just take it apart. And if you got to go back a couple to take it apart, you know, it's not a big deal. They're very easy to fix, so don't be afraid if you make a mistake there. Very easy to correct. I'm just going to zip through this and get it completed so I can show you how to finish off the bracelet with the tying and melting down the end so it doesn't come apart. So when we're done here, you're going to have a usable piece of paracord with you that's approximately 7 feet long. If you're in a situation where you need a piece of really strong rope for about that length, you're going to have it with you if you're wearing this. And that's what makes paracord really useful. Plus the fact that there's individual strands inside the paracord that if you pull it apart, you actually have very strong lines that you can use for different things like building a shelter or making some real strong fishing line. And that didn't come out right. That's one of the problems with talking when you're working. Sometimes you're not paying enough attention. But like I say, you saw how easy it was to fix the mistake there. Paracord comes in probably over 100 different colors and variations. You can get it single colors, you can get multicolored like this. You can even get glow-in-the-dark paracord. So it's really allows you a wide range of fashion choices when you're making your paracord projects. Just about done here. Okay, I'm going to do one more, see where we're at. I'm basically at the end here, and I've got room for one more here, so I'm going to do one more. Okay, so basically we've just built the paracord bracelet and we have these two long ends attached to it. So I'm going to take it off the jig so we can continue working on it. Let's see how much we ended up with left over here. Just a bit over a foot on this side. And this side's just a little shorter. So about 2 feet, like I estimated. And before we finalize it, let's give it a try to see how it fits. Sometimes you find out you did the work and you made it too tight. And unfortunately, putting on a bracelet by yourself can be difficult, so you can take a couple tries. Oops, almost got it here. There we go. And as you can see, it's a very good fit here. It's actually pretty snug. If you want it, could have made it a little looser. I could have gone to 8.5 inches, but it came out very nice. The knots are nice and tight, which is one of the good things about using a jig. Everything stays steady and it lets you do stuff like that much easier than if you're just holding it and making the design. Okay, the last thing we need to do is finish the bracelet off. What we're going to do, we're going to cut the two ends here. Leave just a little bit, maybe that much space there at each end. And then I'm going to heat those ends with the lighter here, melting the material, and then I'm going to squish it in. That's going to lock the bracelet in place so it can't come apart on me, which is something we don't want. So I'm going to cut this side, and I'm going to cut this side. Okay, so now I have two cuts. I'm going to melt the first one. Just hold the flame there enough to get it good and melted without melting the rest of the paracord. Now I'm going to blow it out and just touch it like that. What I just did was I made a big section from the string. This color might not be the best to see it, but basically it expanded the string when I squished it down, so it made a nice seal there. And I'm going to do it again on this side here. Okay, that's good and melted, and I'm going to push that down again. It takes just a few seconds to harden. So now what that did was it made two plugs here so that this can't come off easily. And that's it. We've built our paracord bracelet. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the project, and best luck making your own bracelet. See you next time.